Inquisitorial Log, Entry 742, M42. As I commit these words to the archive, I am reminded of the solemn weight of history that rests on the Imperium's fragile shoulders. Today I continue my chronicle of humanity's most enigmatic and pivotal figures, the Primarchs. Born of the Emperor's will, and scattered by the caprices of the warp, these prodigal sons were each bestowed with fragments of the master of mankind's own soul. They were instruments of glory, harbingers of conquest, and ultimately agents of both salvation and ruin. In this log I will recount their origins, the unique traits that marked them, and the legions they led. These records are not merely tales of conquest, but stories imbued with both majesty and melancholy, for within each Primarch lay the seeds of greatness and the shadow of downfall. Horus Lupercal, the War Master and the first Primarch discovered, embodied the Emperor's charisma, strategic brilliance, and unparalleled leadership. Found on the war-torn world of Chthoniya, Horus rose quickly to become his father's favoured son, a general whose presence could inspire entire legions. Leading the 16th Legion of the Luna Wolves, Horus fostered an unbreakable bond with his warriors and was revered by his brothers. However, his closeness to the Emperor made him a prime target for the whisperings of chaos. When manipulation and ambition twisted his loyalty, Horus became the harbinger of the Horus heresy, a catastrophic betrayal that sundered the Imperium and echoed across the millennia. Leman Russ, the Wolf King of Fenris, embodied the Emperor's ferocity, loyalty, and sense of justice tempered by a primal edge. Raised in a harsh, unforgiving environment, Russ thrived on the icy world of Fenris, where survival was a daily battle. His legion, the Space Wolves, reflected his warrior spirit, fierce, loyal, and unmatched in ferocity. Known as the Emperor's executioner, Russ was tasked with enforcing the Emperor's will, even when it meant facing his own brothers. Despite his fearsome reputation, Russ possessed a deep respect for honor and kinship, qualities that defined his relationships and marked him as both a feared and beloved figure. Ferrus Manus, known as the Gorgon, was discovered on Medusa, a world of relentless storms and jagged metal landscapes. He embodied the Emperor's pursuit of perfection, resilience, and technological prowess. His legion, the Iron Hands, took after him in their belief that flesh was weak and augmentation was essential for strength. Ferrus was known for his iron will and unyielding drive to improve. His loyalty and friendship with Fulgrim, another Primarch, were legendary, though ultimately marked by tragedy during the Horus heresy. Ferrus's relentless pursuit of strength was both his defining trait and the catalyst for his downfall. Fulgrim, the Phoenician, was discovered on Kamos, a world where scarcity honed the resolve of its inhabitants. He carried the Emperor's aesthetic vision and relentless pursuit of excellence. Leading the 3rd Legion, the Emperor's children, Fulgrim inspired his warriors to seek perfection in all things, embodying the grandeur and artistry of the Imperium. However, his ambition and pursuit of flawlessness became his undoing. Tempted by promises of power and seduced by the allure of chaos, Fulgrim's fall from grace was a stark reminder of how aspiration, when unchecked, can lead to ruin. Vulcan, the Primarch of the Salamanders, was found on the volcanic world of Nocturne. He carried the Emperor's compassion and protective nature, valuing life above conquest. His legion, the Salamanders, became known for their exceptional craftsmanship, loyalty, and commitment to humanity. Vulcan believed that strength was not found just in victory, but in the preservation of those who could not defend themselves. His story is one of resilience and unwavering commitment, embodying the ideals of selflessness and brotherhood that set him apart from many of his kin. Rogel Dorn, the stalwart Praetorian, was found on the icy world Inuit. He embodies the Emperor's unyielding will and dedication to defending humanity. His legion, the Imperial Fists, were masters of fortification and siege warfare, reflecting Dorn's own uncompromising nature. Known for his rigid sense of duty and honor, Dorn became the Emperor's chosen defender of Terra, a role that would place him at the forefront of the Imperium's greatest battles. His steadfastness, while admirable, often led to friction with his more impulsive brothers, showcasing the balance between strength and inflexibility. Rabute Gilliman, discovered on Macragge, was the Emperor's statesman and strategist, embodying vision, order, and practicality. His legion, the Ultramarines, became a symbol of discipline, governance, and structured expansion. Gilliman was more than a conqueror. He was a builder and administrator, establishing Ultramar as a beacon of civilization amidst the chaos of the galaxy. His Codex Astartes, written after the Horus heresy, became the foundation to the future of the Space Marine legions, cementing his legacy as the Imperium's greatest reformer. Magnus the Red, the Crimson King, stood apart with his profound psychic power, representing the Emperor's pursuit of knowledge and mastery of the warp. Found on the scholarly world of Prospero, Magnus nurtured a legion, 1,000 sons, that prized intellect, sorcery, and arcane study. His love for enlightenment, however, became a double-edged sword. Despite warnings, Magnus's reliance on forbidden powers led to his downfall, culminating in the tragic burning of Prospero and a shattered relationship with the Emperor. His story serves as a cautionary tale of ambition meeting hubris. Sanguinius, the angelic Primarch of the Blood Angels, embodied nobility, courage, and sacrifice. Found on the irradiated world of Baal, Sanguinius represented the Emperor's compassion and vision of human potential. His legion mirrored his spirit, pursuing glory with unmatched zeal, while battling their dark affliction, the Red Thirst. Sanguinius's legacy is defined by his selflessness, his role in defending Terra during the siege, and the prophetic weight of his death, which served as a symbol of hope amidst the Imperium's darkest days. Lionel Johnson, raised in the dense shadowed forests of Caliban, was a being of formidable strength and strategic prowess. He embodied the Emperor's cunning and isolation, traits that would guide and trouble him in equal measure. Leading the First Legion, the Dark Angels, he instilled discipline, loyalty, and a rigid code of honor. Yet his secretive nature and pride often placed him at odds with his brothers, sowing seeds of distrust that would linger long after his time. Perturabo, the master of sieges and fortifications, was discovered on Olympia, a world defined by its rigid hierarchy and constant conflict. He embodied the Emperor's analytical mind and relentless pursuit of perfection, but bore the heavy burden of feeling underappreciated. His legion, the Iron Warriors, shared his cold, calculated approach to warfare, excelling in siegecraft and defensive strategies. Perturabo's life was marked by resentment, always driven to prove his worth while believing he was unfairly treated compared to his brothers. This sense of injustice and bitterness eventually twisted his loyalty, turning him from the Imperium's architect into a bitter instrument of rebellion. His story is one of unparalleled brilliance, weighed down by envy and the relentless search for validation. Mortarion, the Death Lord, was raised on the toxic world of Barbarous, a place shrouded in poisonous mists and ruled by tyrants. He embodied the Emperor's resilience, defiance against oppression. His legion, the Death Guard, mirrored his ability to endure hardship, becoming renowned for their unwavering fortitude and resistance to pain. Mortarion's deep-seated hatred for those who imposed suffering shaped his path, but his desire for freedom from tyranny eventually drove him to make dark alliances, leading to his tragic fall into corruption. Lorgar, the bearer of the word, grew up on Colchis, a world steeped in religious fervor. He embodied the Emperor's contemplative and spiritual nature, but took it to an extreme that became his greatest weakness. His legion, the Word Bearers, were devout in their belief, spreading the imperial truth with zeal that bordered on worship. When his unwavering devotion was met with the Emperor's disapproval, Lorgar's shattered faith led him to seek new truths in forbidden places, ultimately embracing the dark gods and igniting a path that would sear through the Imperium. Jagatai Khan, the Great Khan, was discovered on the steppes of Shagoris, where he led a nomadic people and thrived in the fierce, unforgiving wilderness. He embodied the Emperor's strategic brilliance and love for freedom. His legion, the White Scars, echoed his way of war, swift, sudden, and relentless. Khan's fierce independence often put him at odds with his more rigid brothers, but it was this very trait that defined his strength. His legacy is one of honor and loyalty, underlined by the speed and ferocity that kept his enemies forever off balance. Conrad Kurz, known as the Night Haunter, was discovered on Nostromo, a world shrouded in perpetual darkness and plagued by crime and corruption. He embodied the Emperor's sense of justice taken to an extreme, a reflection of the harshest interpretation of law and order. Kurz imposed brutal discipline on his homeworld, using terror to instill control and eradicate lawlessness. His legion, the Night Lords, mirrored his philosophy, wielding fear as both a weapon and a shield. Haunted by visions of his own doom and racked by a fractured mind, Kurz's life was a tragedy marked by his descent into madness. His story is a chilling reminder of what happens when justice becomes vengeance, and the line between hero and monster blurs beyond recognition. Angron, the Red Angel, was discovered on New Syria, a world that thrived on blood and chains. As a gladiator, Angron knew only struggle and pain, embodying the Emperor's raw might, twisted by suffering. His legion, the World Eaters, shared his insatiable rage, becoming known for their savage assaults and brutal close combat. Angron's life was defined by rebellion and torment, leading to a tragic destiny steeped in violence and betrayal. His story is one of anguish and the relentless pursuit of freedom, no matter the cost. Corvus Corax, the Shadowed Liberator, was discovered on Lycaeus, a moon enslaved to mining tycoons, where he led a revolt that set his people free. He embodied the Emperor's commitment to justice and the power of precision. His legion, the Raven Guard, specialized in covert operations and hit-and-run tactics, striking unseen and disappearing before their enemies could respond. Corax's leadership was marked by deep empathy and a profound sense of responsibility, making him a beacon of hope for the oppressed. ArhPriest and his twin, Omegon, were the last of the Primarchs to be found and embodied the Emperor's strategic cunning. The Alpha Legion was known for its secrecy, subterfuge, and the blurred lines between friend and foe. They thrived on manipulation, employing strategies that few could comprehend and even fewer could predict. The twins' true motivations were shrouded in mystery, leaving the Imperium and their own brothers questioning their true loyalties. As we close this entry on the Primarchs, one thing becomes clear. Each was not merely a creation of the Emperor, but a reflection of his multifaceted vision for humanity. Their virtues built the Imperium. Their flaws nearly brought it to ruin. Yet without them, the Great Crusade would have remained a dream rather than a reality. In the following entry, we shall delve into the Great Crusade itself, the age of unity and conquest that propelled mankind to the far reaches of the galaxy, where triumphs and tragedies unfolded under the shadow of destiny. Until then, may the echoes of their legacies remind us that glory and downfall often walk hand in hand.